Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Probably about time that I did some responses to some of the comments that we've had. Trying to keep it light, of course. Okay, so don't get too upset and distraught because of something that I say. Okay, now. Nana's house comes up for a lot of comment, and some of it makes sense to me, and some of it doesn't. Is there anybody out there that really thinks that we would not put a wall around the toilet in our storage? I'm just trying to think of a situation where in the office we are, because that's also going to double at some point in the office. So there we are, and somebody is here and they say, do you think I could use a toilet? What would I say? Sure, it's over there, okay? Just pretend that we're not here, crap away, we're not really watching. But if it's loud, sorry, we will be listening. It's really not going to happen, is it? There is a wall. This is called a work in progress. That's why I try to put there WIP. That's what it means. It means we're still working. Now, in that storage unit, the office, workshop, storage, it's a multi-purpose place at the moment. Someone said you shouldn't put the furniture in there. Well, we bought the furniture. Where would we put it? What should we do? Put it outside under a tarpaulin? Of course we're not going to. Somebody else said it's just chaos. There are 2 pieces of furniture in that building at the moment. It's 19 feet by 19, and there are 2 pieces of furniture, and one of them is the old table that was made up and used in Nana's house. Which is now being used as a kind of workbench by the guys who are doing the windows. So, chaos. When I think about chaos, I just imagine so much going on as well. I can't stand this, it's just chaos. Well, it's not really chaos. Now, there's stuff to do in there. We have to go on and we have to do a smooth coat on the lower part of the walls, which is in rendering. Thank you to the person who explained to me that rendering is of cement and plastering is of plaster. Yes, I did know that, but thank you for reminding me. Rendering, by the way, is interior and exterior. It's as far as I know, it's an action which describes the application of a smooth coat of cement, and you can do that anywhere, which we have done. Okay, what else? What am I looking at? Leftover wood. The chaos that people keep saying, could you clean up that mess please, because it's really upsetting me, I can't bear to watch. We are cleaning up as we go, and if you have been fair, you will have noticed that things are gradually getting tidy, and that's what will happen. As the work moves towards the back of the house, the chaos, to borrow that word, the chaos is all in second-hand wood that has been used as scaffolding, and it's thrown in a heap under the old tree that's out the back there. Now, as one of our subscribers, Alvin, who has just built a huge palace of a house, has said, all of the wood gets thrown into one pile, and later we will be able, he was able to donate it, allow people to come and use it, and hope that it will be used again. We've heard from Timio that he would like a lot of the wood that's left over that we have salvaged from Nana's old house, because there's a church that's being built somewhere else, and he thought that it would come in very handy for them. So, good on you, Timio. What else? Some Visayan comments. If you put a comment on there and it's in complete Visayan with no English, and you don't get a response from me, or a like or dislike. I never put dislike, I don't bother. I never put a thumbs down on any, as far as I know. I may have done one thumbs down. But if I don't respond, it's because I don't understand Visayan. I am disgraceful. I am disgracefully lazy at having done this. I've been here for so long and I still haven't learned very much, and I should be ashamed of myself, and I am. And I am actually trying to work now and at least learn Tagalog, so that I can understand stuff that's on the TV and on the news. So that first, and then Visayan bit by bit. My apologies. So let me see. Our trucks. Somebody did say, they use that phrase, which always to me seems quite racist. They said, "you people," and he said, "You people don't take care of your trucks." Anybody that has watched several of our videos will know that we beat the hell out of our trucks because they are expected to work. Out here, unless you've been out here, you won't understand the way of life. We are miles away from a garage that will do preventive maintenance, and yes, it's true, you are right, we drive things until they start to show signs of breaking down. And in this particular case, this subscriber said there's something seriously wrong with the front end of your truck. We know there gets to be something seriously wrong with our truck every few months because of the beating it takes going from the highway to our house, fully laden and sometimes fully overladen. It carries a lot of materials. It's just a little truck. That's the little red. Even the big blue takes a beating, and it is required to do a tough job. Now, we don't have the same facilities that people in the West have. Now, in the West, I know from experience that if you go into an after parts store, you go in there and you speak to someone who is quite experienced in delivering all kinds of parts. And what they do is they'll ask you what's the year, model, make and VIN number. And if you take all of that information in, it gets programmed into the computer. And as it goes into the computer, straight away, with wonderful rapidity, out comes a schematic of the whole vehicle. And then it says, now what was the part again? And you say, well, it was the rear end offside widget. And straight away he focuses down on the rear end offside widget, and there's a wonderful picture, accurate, detailed technical drawing of the widget in all of its widginess. And you are then able to say, that's it. I may as well have the other side at the same time. And that's how you do it. And you pay, and you're in and out, as long as you're the only one there in the line, you're in and out in minutes. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could do that? Here, for something even like a drive shaft, you jack the vehicle up, you have a mechanic take out the drive shaft, if you're lucky, he cleans it up a little, puts it into an old rice bag and hands it to you. And then you, if that's the only vehicle you've got, you get onto a bus, and in our case you drive or are driven about 60 miles to Tagbilaran, and you go to a company called Tabil. Well, that's one of the companies, and you heave the drive shaft up onto the counter, and a lady there says, what's this from? And you tell her, and then if she can't lift it, she gets somebody else, and they take it off into their storeroom, and they lay it side by side by the replacement. And if it looks right, they bring them both back, put them up on the counter, and you go over it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything matches everything else. Well, actually, even in America, I would make sure that this was right, because if you went in and tried to get a starter motor, they would give you one where the holes didn't quite match up, so you had to be careful even there. Here, especially so. So that's how difficult it is with us people, we the people. What else? A ceiling cladding in this particular case, you may have seen how we put the ceiling, the cladding on the ceiling. It's not a thing that's normally done. Beth and I stayed at the resort when we first met our friend Stephen from Hong Kong, and we saw that they'd used, instead of leaving the rafters exposed, they'd actually put cladding on it, the Amacon cladding, and it looked terrific. So we stored that in the mind, in the bank, and when it came to doing the our guest house, we said that's what we want, and we got them to do it, and we're going to do it again in our office come storage come workshop, and we're going to do it there too. And we've double clad the inside of Nanai's house, and we're in the process now of finishing off the double cladding in our office, and we're going to do the ceiling as well. So that's that. So now, watching videos, and I have to comment on this, watching videos, a lot of people don't want to watch past the ads, and we understand that. Now, this is not begging to have you watch the ads, even though if you watch the ads, it means that we earn a little bit more. We're talking milli pesos, okay? But if you let the ad run, we're not suggesting that you sit there like this. We're suggesting that perhaps you go and have a cup of coffee and do whatever you want, but let the ad run, and then it will be better for us, which if you enjoy watching what we do, you perhaps might be committed to helping us to do what you enjoy looking at. So let them run. But what are we saying? Watching the videos. Now, for those of you who can't stand watching the video, watching the ads, and you are hightailing it out of here when you see the first ad come up, well, if it is that you can't flick the ad and pass on, and you're going to be heading out the door, metaphorically speaking, then don't comment if you haven't fully understood what's there. Now, in one particular case, I'm sure that Beth describes that we're going to put a wall up in the CR. Going to put a wall up and a door. We're going to put a door on the CR of Nanai's house, and the reason there's a curtain up there is because we haven't put the door up yet. It's still being made, and yet people still say you need to put a door on the CR of Nanai because it's very embarrassing sitting there doing your number two and farting and making those unpleasant noises when people are walking past going on their way to the kitchen. Well, if you watched the video, you would know that we were going to put a door on there, okay? So over and on with the door thing. What else? Open top to Nanai's house. Some of you noticed that when the wall goes into this is what is a traditional house in the Philippines. They don't take the wall entirely up to and into the gap between the roof and the top of the wall. This allows for greater ventilation, not for greater privacy for certain, but nevertheless that's how they do it. So that's why you see that gap, and that's the reason, because that's how they do it. So I should really make a response to the idea of the titles. Lots of people, especially newcomers who are not used to the fact, to the knowledge, are not aware of the knowledge that English is not it's Beth's third language, I think, actually, or is it the fourth? She speaks her own language, which is Visayan. She speaks Tagalog. She speaks English, and I think she also speaks a smattering of Cebuano. These are all slightly different dialects, and they take learning. Now, without even having the cooperation of AutoCheck, or autocorrect it may be called, the titles can come out weird. Now I notice even for mine, and I am reasonably familiar with both spelling and with grammar. So when I look back, and I'm horrified to see that things are not placed in, say, the present, they look as if they're in the past. ED is being left off, plural and singular is often mistaken, and then I often have all kinds of different suggestions from AutoCheck as to what I should have meant, and unless I go back and do my spell check myself, I can be sending out some criminally incorrect emails or messages, or even comments or responses to comments. So I suggest that you cut Beth some slack. I suggest that you understand that it's not her first language, but you should also understand that I come in at the end of some of the videos that I've made, like this video now, which is a monologue, and I say what the correct title should be. Now I've got one here: update on disabling comments, YouTube on the attack. Well, that's all acceptable grammar, and it's an acceptable title. Beth will look at that quite differently. Well, it's not very catchy, is it? Who's going to want to watch that? And I say, okay, now unless it's something that is really, really important to me to get over and have, like if it's a title to my one of my stories that I'm narrating, I would like that to be the title. Even that does not escape the knife, metaphorically speaking, of Beth, and she will butcher something sometimes, and when I say that shouldn't be that way, she'll say, you know, I tried your title and it got 600 views, and when I changed it to that title that you're complaining about, it got 6,000 views. Now, for those of you who are purists, here's a confession. Views are important to us, and yes, it's the name of the game. We could have the most wonderful channel in the entire YouTube universe, and unless it gets views, it won't exist for long, because who's going to continue working and creating a YouTube channel that nobody watches? So yes, views are important. It's important that you view, as well as it's important that you give us a thumbs up. It's also important that you subscribe. Subscribing, unlike what a lot of people think, subscribing doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything to actually sustain. Unlike the use of the word, which does actually, from the past, has always suggested that you buy something up front, right? When you subscribe, you would buy the magazine, and then you would maintain a subscription in which you would agree that the company that gave the magazine out are going to send it out to you every month, and they want $2.50 for it. So there's a case of you paid up front, and now you're paying monthly for the right to read that magazine. Well, in YouTube they've taken the word and the words, but they're not used the same any more than when Michael Jackson said, I'm bad, He wasn't saying he was bad. Actually, he was saying he was good, really good, because he was saying, wow, that's, do you remember? Wow, that's bad. Things change. Use of words changes. And what we would hope that you would do would be to simply look at the titles, accept them as fun, accept the videos as something worth watching without constantly correcting and guiding and suggesting and saying, just saying. Okay? Manu, I'm just saying, alright? So that's the end of my little response to your comments, which are so very important to us. Please have a sense of humour when you're reading some of my responses. It's my dry Brit sense of humour, and it's got me in trouble a lot of times. Forgive me. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, comment nicely, be nice, be gentle. Please. Bye for now.